There you have it, we are in Krakow, Poland, just waiting for our personalised taxi. Almost feel like Jason Bourne waiting for a personalised taxi rather than getting an Uber like we normally do, which is a privilege. So we're going to head into the taxi now and then head to our hotel, check in, and then yeah, just mooch around the city centre for today. And then we've got some really cool stuff planned over the next coming days. Just checked in and headed into the city centre, or old town of Krakow. We haven't got really much planned today, so we arrived about 1-2 o'clock-ish. So we're just kind of taking a little stroll around the city centre, finding our bearings, finding some little cool little places to kind of visit, like shops and stuff, independent shops, and finding some local places to eat. And later on we'll go out for dinner. I've just stopped off at a supermarket to try out some food. Probably no different to food up back home. So this is like a chicken and sun-dried tomato panini. Pretty good. But the cost of it is insane. So normally, like, I can imagine this in a supermarket in the UK would be what, £4 or so, something like that? About £4? Yeah, about £4 for the panini. I then got a Monster Ruby Fantasy, which I've never had before. So I got 2 of those. And I also got a Alpro 23 gram yogurt, which by themselves are normally like £3. So altogether, it came to 32.66 Lottie, which when you convert it into UK pounds, £6.93 for all that food, which is pretty good if you don't, which is pretty good. So very good value for money here, and I've heard the alcohol and stuff is also really cheap. Not that I really drink that much, but I probably will have a cheeky few little cocktails later when we go out for dinner. That was some cool little church parade. Have you ever learnt a musical instrument?
I wanted to play a saxophone.
Saxophone. The only thing I've learnt is how to play a recorder through my nose.
Learn how to play it for your bum.
Yeah, that's my my little skill, is be able to play a recorder through my nostril. I used to be able to play green sleeves on the keyboard. That's about it. So my musical talents stretch as far as recorder through the nose. Welcome back to day 2, but the first full day of our Polish trip. We have some interesting stuff planned today. We've got Auschwitz, so that's going to be a very cool thing, not necessarily a cool thing to do, but it's going to be an interesting thing to kind of visit, learn a little bit about, because it's a massive piece of history. Second thing we're doing is we're going to a Banksy museum. Now I've done one of these before, and I absolutely love Banksy's art because I'm a massive graffiti fiend. But this one's massive, so that's going to be a cool thing to just mooch around. It's not like tour guide or anything like that, so you can just take your time, whereas Auschwitz is. So I will try and film some of it if I'm allowed to, so you can kind of catch some of the tour guide's information on everything about Auschwitz. And then the last thing we're doing this evening is we're going to do some vodka tasting, which I'm probably going to be lasting about 1 vodka shot, and then I'll be under the table because I don't really drink much anymore. And I had some vodka yesterday and the shot sizes are insane. So that was a very interesting, insightful, but also very eerie trip to Auschwitz. 2 sections of the tour. So we went to Auschwitz 1. So in this section, you will have a lot of where the prisoners would have stayed. So you had things such as their living quarters kind of thing. So there would be over 1,000 people in each living quarter in Auschwitz 1 before they would then be transported to the gas chambers. Inside some of the buildings were things such as their clothing, their crutches, walking sticks, that sort of stuff, pots and pans. One of the most eerie and scary ones, I guess, was the section where you couldn't film. So there was 2 sections pretty much where you weren't allowed to film in, and one of them was where they had human hair remains, which they kept. So obviously it was quite dark, you wouldn't be able to see it anyway, but this was where I walked in and felt like a lot of goosebumps across my body. It was cold, dark, and just the amount of hair that was collated, like some of the videos I'm going to overlay on this of the shoes and the pots and pans, were insane. It was so scary. So that was Auschwitz 1. We also then walked through the gas chamber, which was obviously underground, very dark, awful condition, obviously you wouldn't want to be in there. And they had, obviously, alongside this, in Auschwitz 1, they also had a model replica of the whole chamber. So it's not just underground, they also had an upstairs section, which would have been where they were showered with sort of Cyclone B, which is the gas that they were used before going into the chamber and then obviously being killed. In Auschwitz 2, or the second section, this is where they had like a lot of the barracks. So in these barracks, there'd be around 400 to 800 people in one barracks at a time. Very cold. There were heaters in there, but because of the slats in the ceiling, it was very drafty. When it rained, it would have leaked on people as well. The ground was very boggy, so not great living conditions. And this is where we walked past the outside of one of the blown up gas chambers, and it just put into perspective of how big it was from the outside. And yeah, it was crazy amount of steps we racked up around the whole of the museum, and the tour guide was very good. It was a Polish lady, but she spoke very good English. So if you're ever thinking about going to Auschwitz, I really highly recommend it. It's a massive part of history, and it's just an interesting place to go to learn about it and just understand what it was like to live in those times. But now we're heading to the Banksy Museum. Can you not fucking put a twig in my fucking video, please?
It's funny.
Yeah, head to the Banksy Museum. Fuck off. Wingardium Leviosa. We're heading to the Banksy Museum, something a little bit more lively, after just wasting about 30 minutes searching for some Jellycat teddies, which my girlfriend, is only reason why she come to Poland was to get some Jellycat teddies, and then finds out about the same price as back home. What a waste of a trip. But yeah, we're heading there now, and then we're going to head to some vodka tasting later, so stay tuned for more wizardry. So this bit of art literally looks something like I would draw as a kid. So sick though, how like he's done the fire here with the tyre, but that definitely looks something like I would draw on a night out after I've been pissed, for sure. These are pretty cool. And then this one here, I have seen in Bristol. So if you guys have been to Bristol before, you'll notice that now has paint over it. So I think that guy that owns the flat or whatever it's on has like decided to throw purple paint over it because he doesn't want it on his building. And also there was a sign in the manual that I read once when I brought it home. There was a sign that he sprayed on, and the guy then sold his shop and basically triple the money back just from selling that sign alone by itself at an auction. Made absolutely millions on it just from a little bit of graffiti on it, which is insane, absolutely insane. But yeah, this is all like replica stuff, it's not the actual stuff, just some of his artwork here. Also, one of the questions that me and my girlfriend have got right now is, will we ever find out who he is? Because everyone knows that he's a guy from like videos and stuff online that he's posted, or interviews that he's done with like a mask on it. But will we ever find out like who he is? I reckon, you know, if when he dies, his stuff will be worth a lot, and he'll probably leave like a letter saying who he is and things like that. Not really many people will know who he is because he doesn't really show himself. Maybe the few people at Glastonbury that time last year where he did a stunt in front of the idols where he had a blow-up boat with like people from a prison being pushed around in the crowd above him, like a crowd surf. People that did that for him probably will know who he is, but how does he kind of police people not telling anyone who he is? He's such a mysterious bloke. So this is so cool. So Banksy has just been watching the video. Has just made a hotel in Bethlehem near the Jerusalem border where they've built the wall up, where it's just filled with his artwork. Like, obviously, it's the idea of the hotel is to basically label it as a hotel room without a view, and it's just a view of the wall, but his artwork is everywhere. So things such as like this. So it's designed around Britain, obviously. So these are sort of the artworks you'll see in the hotel itself. This on the back of the wall, like that is a pretty sick bedroom if you don't ask me. Like honestly, that's so sick. Here, and then this is basically the hotel itself. It's called the Walled Off Hotel. Such a cool idea. I definitely want to stay there if it was me. Maybe not Bethlehem, but if it was somewhere else, I'd be definitely there.
People take cars rather than
Polish vintage vodka selection. No idea what that is. So this is the lemon vodka. I've just had a sip of it and it's vile. It tastes like grass, so I'm going to shot it. They all taste like pure ethanol. So this one right here is honey. Yep, ethanol. This is the cherry vodka. I've had bad experiences with cherry, so this is going to go down well. Best one yet. No idea what flavour that is. It just tastes like water. So I'm pretty sure this is elderflower, but I've kind of forgotten by this point. Yeah, so review, the lemon one, definitely the worst. The best is the cherry. So all these shots.
the cherry one's the best one.
Yeah, cherry one was the best one.
That was nasty.
6 shots came to, how much was it?
£14.
£14, which in the UK is, I think it's like 5 for 15, so it's already better than the UK. 10 times better. So I feel a bit pissed. Haven't drunk like that in such a while. Obviously the missus had to have an extra 3 shots. 6 shots of salt and caramel chocolate flavour, which tastes like mousse, which is actually really nice. And what was the other flavour?
3 salted caramel, 3 mousse.
3 salted caramel, 3 mousse, which was tastes like
amazing.
Tastes amazing. So we're about to head to a pancake place, which also sells pizza, weirdly.
And mozzarella sticks.
And mozzarella sticks and burgers and all that sort of shenanigans. So I'll record that. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty good little dinner before we head back to the hotel. So here's the taste test of the chimichurri chicken burger. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh no.
It's got some sort of like avocado sauce in it. Really good. So out of 10, I'd rate this probably about an 8 out of 10. Doesn't compare to the Brewdog lamb curry burger. If they ever bring that back on the menu, that is like sex in a bun. Insanely good. Welcome back to day 3 of our Krakow tour. Yesterday we finished the evening off with 6 shots of vodka, and they definitely left me worse for wear. Even worse for my girlfriend, she had an extra 6. So she got back and we just passed out. It was insane. Definitely helps to sleep a lot better though, to be fair. So today we're off to the Tantra Mountains for some thermal baths. We're also going to be doing some cheese tasting and vodka tasting. But we didn't actually look at the Didn't expect there to be snow basically here. So looking at the weather forecast up on the mountains at the moment, it's snowing. So, and we're both not equipped. My girlfriend's got dunks on, I've got just joggers. Got my Carhartt coat on at least and a thick jumper, but that's about it. No gloves, no nothing. And they wanted us to bring flip-flops to the thermal baths when it's snowing outside. I don't think so. So we're heading there. I'll try and get some clips of the trip and also some more shots of us drinking more shots of vodka and eating our weight in cheese.
I think it's actually crazy in Malaysia.
I know, just move it.
Just move, because it's amazing.
Nastrowie.
So guys, if someone is not drinking, as our driver Michał today, we are saying that we are drinking his health. If you would like to do the photo of the plant.
Not as strong as yesterday. So we've just made it to the first stop before our thermal baths, trying some local cheese and vodka. So the vodka was cherry, lemon, and sort of like an orange or pear flavour. Not as strong as yesterday's vodka, thankfully. Still good though. And the cheese was like a kind of like a halloumi / cheddar. Very chewy, but with like a cranberry jam. Banging. But look at this insane view that we've got. Absolutely beautiful. And you've got the mountain ranges just behind me as well, over there. We're going to be going up there later for our thermal baths. And I'm fucking buzzing for it. It's going to be so good. The view's going to be insane. We are at the top of Gupaloka in Poland, Krakow, before we head to the thermal baths, and the view is amazing. Look at this absolute stunning panoramic view. It's almost like a postcard. Absolutely insane. So to get to the top of this, you have to get a gondola up, and there's a few little bits. There's not enough snow for them, but you've got a toboggan run, you've got button lifts if you're doing skiing and stuff like that. They haven't had enough snow recently, so that's why none of it's open at the moment. But we're going to spend about 30 to 40 minutes just kind of sightseeing, get some decent photos, and then we're going to head to the thermal baths where we're going to spend the rest of the day. We're also going to head into the city of Krakow, which is just in the distance over there, if I can zoom in, just over in the distance over there. And we're going to spend a good sort of 2 hours in the city before we head to those thermal baths. So yeah, it's going to be a really exciting day. Just thought I'd show you the ski slopes of Gupaloka. So Gupaloka is 1,129 meters above sea level, which is pretty insane really, but the ski slope is actually still got a pretty decent amount of snow on it. I don't want to step on this in case I slip down, but this is the ski slope when it's like peak season. And then over in the distance there, where the little ramps are, I guess that's a snow park, which that's where I would be hanging out if it was me on my snowboard. I'm pretty decent on a snowboard, to be fair. I've done both skiing and snowboarding, but for some reason, I skateboard, so snowboarding comes naturally, but I get really cocky on skis. I can remember I went to a ski lesson in my school, and I couldn't stop for the first lessons on the beginner slopes, and there was a massive amount of snow that had been obviously ploughed by the snow plows in the morning. I thought, fuck it, what better way to slow down than do a 180? I landed it and then ended up running over the ski instructor, which was quite funny. And then I had to wear this Love Heart onesie for the rest of the trip, which was pretty embarrassing, but it was a really good ski trip. Yeah, it would have been good. So we're now in the town or city, not too sure what it is, of Zakopane, and I've got a fucking TK Maxx. So we're gonna go in there and see what sort of stuff they have different to the UK TK Maxx. So far, shoe section, very disappointing. Always is for fucking size 7. I remember when I was younger, I was buzzing to get to size 7 feet, like it's an adult size. But looking at the shoes, it's just Adidas, Adidas, Adidas. So we've got the Adidas Predators, pretty decent to be fair, for football shoes. The only Nike pair they've got is these awful like Nike like knitted boots. 7.5, bit too big, but they're women's anyway, I wouldn't wear them. What else have they got? We've got these hideous Adidas Crocs, because why not? What else have we got? More Adidas sort of, they're not Predators. We've got those. We've got some Adidas Swifts, absolute classics. And then tons of other leather shoes. Got some Lottos, absolute snaz. A pair of those are better chinos, absolute colourway that is. So TK Maxx was a bit of a disappointment, usual stuff, and that's what we tend to find when we're abroad now, is literally the same shops as you get back home, no cheaper. So we just went to a Jellycat shop again, unfortunately, and it was literally the same prices, if not actually more expensive than it was back home. Yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment. So opinions on Nakapane itself. It's a really nice little town, loads of small little restaurants to kind of have a go at and try. Local cuisines like pizzas, burgers, that sort of stuff. So we're heading back to the bus now to head up to the mountains a bit further to go to the thermal baths, which is the main thing we came for. I'm going to film some decent videos of the thermal baths because it's massive. We've got flume slides, we've got loads of obviously thermal baths top and bottom floor, both for about 30 degrees in heat. So yeah, it's going to be a really fun, interesting little day out.
Try it to make sure it's not just me.
And there you have it. Back from the thermal baths. Definitely feel like I caught the sun today. Like being up on top of the mountain, the sun was right on our face. But yeah, really good day. You wouldn't have seen a lot of the spa pools and stuff because there was a mixture of like obviously kids and adults, things like that. So couldn't capture everything. But on the first floor there was about 6 or 7 different hot tubs or jacuzzis. Some of them were different, a lot of them were the same. They weren't particularly the warmest, but they were like more like bubble bath kind of jacuzzis, if that makes sense. Then you had a lane swim pool which wasn't 25 meters, and you had also 2 side pools which were just normal kind of leisure pools. On the outside bit, the one that you probably would have seen, you had a lot of waterfalls. You had also a volleyball net with a basketball in there as well, which is probably something they do like leisure activities when there's more kids about and stuff like that. And then in downstairs pool, which you probably would have seen more of an aerial shot of it, which had a bar. It also had some more waterfalls. It had a rig for like a DJ, so they could do like pool parties and stuff like that. So generally, it's a really good, cool setup. There's a gym upstairs. So in essence, it's kind of more like a leisure center on top of a mountain, which was pretty cool. And then we've just finished off the evening with a really nice dinner at a pasta bar. So I had a pen con polo, so just chicken pen pasta pretty much with artichokes, which I've never had before, which are pretty good. Tastes like asparagus kind of thing. And then my girlfriend had a spag bowl and a chocolate cake for dinner, for dessert. So all in all, a really good day. Absolutely knackered though, lots of traveling. That's the only thing we've noticed so far about Poland is it's a lot of traveling, like external like excursions and things are outside of the city, like good ones. So like obviously today's we had to get like an hour-and-a-half coach. We did stop off at Zakopane, but other than that, it would have been straight away through. And obviously Auschwitz, that was also a long journey on the coach as well. So that's the only downside we found here so far, is a lot of it is like heavy travel to different places. There's probably there is lots of stuff in the city that you can do. Like when we were having the vodka shots the other night, there was an American couple and they're going for a beer spa. So you sit in a beer bath and then have a massage after, which I think is a pretty cool idea, but not doing that while we're here. But there's tons of little stuff that you can do. So definitely check out if you ever come to Poland, check out things in the city if you don't want to kind of travel far. But all the good stuff, in my opinion, is worth the travel for so far. Welcome back to the last full day of our Poland trip. Today we're in the salt mines, and it's pretty much the last activity we've got planned. So we're going to spend the majority of the afternoon in the salt mines licking some salt because we love it. And then we're going to head back to this main city centre, Krakow. And I'm probably going to head out into this city centre and just find some cool bits to do, look at some shops and things like that, spend the last bit of money that I have because I'm broke. And yeah, and then we're going to go from there. So we're just entering the salt mines. First level, 380 steps down. My legs are going to be killing. Super narrow as well, really unsafe.
I want to make sure he's telling us the truth. Oh my god. Wait, put your camera down there. Put your camera down.
Do me numbers.
I lost count after 8.
Already getting dizzy as fuck. I hope It's off to work we go.
Which one are you, dopey?
Only on the 18th floor, and we have this much to go still. Crazy. Level 36. Too many levels. I'm dyslexic, but that's definitely wrong. Camera down there.
Okay, so right now you may be wondering why did I call this chamber unit?
So we're just walking down the next 420 steps. Right now we're in a part of the salt mines where there are a lot of sculptures, and each sculpture in this section is made out of every single salt you can find on Poland. So it must take absolutely years to make them, but they're absolutely astonishing. Puts Banksy to shame for sure, if you'd watched my earlier vlog. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Massive room, and you can definitely taste the salt in the air, to be fair. Like when you're walking through each of the tunnels, if you lick your lips, you can taste it. So right now, we are at the bottom of the salt mines, 130 meters deep below sea level, and it looks incredible. There's even a souvenir shop. This is how high it is. It's 40 meters high, this chamber. This is the last chamber in the whole entire salt mines, and then this is one of the lifts up to the top. It takes 50 seconds from the bottom to the top of the salt mines to get there, which is insane. It takes 3 hours to get down, but 50 seconds to get up. Absolutely mental. Look at all those chickens. Dirty. And we are back in the centre of Krakow. Just finished from the mines. Took a bloody hour to get out. Like one of the lifts was broken. Fits about 16 people, and it is so claustrophobic, but gets you up in like a couple of minutes, or 50 seconds to be exact. So we're on the lookout for somewhere to eat, which is something we both hate doing because we can't pronounce any of the stuff that we're going to go and eat and stuff. So we're going to go and try some dumplings in a moment. So we're going to get a couple of clips of that if we can find somewhere to eat. If not, we're going to have that for dinner this evening. So here's a very quick taste test of the bacon, potato and onion dumplings. As you can tell, I haven't mastered how to eat with a beard yet, even though I've had it for like 6 years. Yeah, very good. Like the onions are so good, the caramelized onions, very, very nice. Bit of chive on there too. Say 9 out of 10. Definitely really good. As you can tell, I'm pretty shit at reviewing food. All food tastes good to me. So although I rated those dumplings a 9 out of 10, I then went to go use the toilet for a number 2 and felt like I was shitting in a glory hole. Literally, it's one of those toilets where you had to put the little like bar latch into the little hole, but it didn't completely close the door. So it was like I was taking a shit and I was pretty scared that someone was going to walk in and just glance through the hole and just see me like squatting. It was just really awkward. So it's downgraded the dumpling score to 7, I think. As you can see, just got back from dinner. Finishing the evening, our last day off with a little bit more of an expensive meal. We just happened to walk past the place, and 2 of the places we've been to have been things that my girlfriend have seen off TikTok, so it has to be good if it's on TikTok. And it was really good actually. It was just a normal grilled chicken burger with asparagus in it, which I've never had asparagus in a burger before. Like gherkin I can understand, but asparagus, and it actually really worked. So it was a grilled chicken burger, Kentucky gold sauce, barbecue sauce, and then some cheese I think was in there as well, and asparagus, and then some skinny fries. And then my girlfriend also had a similar meal, but it was more of a spicier version. So yeah, really good meal in general, and a good day generally. We're absolutely knackered after the salt mine. Just killed us, waiting around for an hour at the end of the tour, taking 3 hours to get down to the bottom, and then, you know, supposedly 50 seconds to back up to the top, but it was an hour and 50 seconds. It was quite knackering. And like I said earlier on, all the travelling is quite tiring, to be fair, like all the buses and stuff like that, but it's definitely worth the visit as a city, and there's so much to do here. And yeah, we'll definitely be coming back in the future, not recently, not soon, but in the future we're definitely coming back and do some different stuff that we haven't done before. Like I'd quite like to try that beer spa place. Sounds pretty good. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this series of vlogs, or I'm not too sure if I'm joining them up together as one big vlog, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'll be trying to vlog a lot more of my trips out, day trips out, holidays, things like that in the future. And drop a comment below where you would like to see a vlog next, or where you recommend visiting next. I'm definitely open to more ideas of different holidays, because travel is a massive part of something that I want to do more of in the future.